I got a meeting in the girls' room. Do you wanna come with, boo? I got a meeting in the girls' room. Do you wanna come with, boo? Ooh, do you wanna come with? Hi, listeners! Oh my god, welcome to a very special bonus episode of Do You Want to Come With Season 1, The Girls' Room. Oh, this is like a really important and big and fun and juicy one. We get to like look back through the podcast archives / my original research conversations. Now, I'm hoping to maybe release more of these in the future, but for now, I have 3 that I really want to highlight. And the first one is Lila. This was an amazing conversation with Lila. Like, love her so much. I'm currently in the sunny and beautiful Los Angeles visiting her, and it's just like so amazing to get to come back to this work and get to come back to this conversation and like really see like how integrated like what Lila said and thought and how integrated that was into my project. You know, it's so incredible. I'm sure y'all will hear it too. But like, anyways, y'all, that's it for me for now. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Get into it. We come to know ourselves like as we start to age, and like the people that we know when we're young, like we start to see each other a lot more. But what I think is really interesting there is what happens when like then you have to interact with the world that's set around you that isn't necessarily in line with like what you
that
feel and
hasn't
what you
seen
know
you. Yeah.
exactly, like who like doesn't know where your journey has been. So that's why I've come to this project of the girls' bathroom, the girls' room.
Hmm.
What goes on in there? Why is it this phenomenon that, you know, girls like to go in groups or go in pairs? Like, what goes on in there? And how are queer and trans people excluded from what goes on in there, or included, but in certain ways, you know? Um,
Yeah.
anyways, so hi, Lila. Um,
Hi.
if you want to take a second and introduce yourself, where you're from, how old are you, like where you're at in life, what's
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
gender identity, all those things like that.
Great. I'm Lila. I grew up in the Bay Area and now I'm at UCLA, so I'm living in Los Angeles and slay. I where I'm at in my life is definitely in this phase of like theorizing, which is why I'm so glad that you asked me to talk about this with you
Mm-hmm.
because I love to, just think on a deeper level about the spaces that we're in and,
Mm-hmm.
how we find our reflection in everything around us. That's like a
Ooh.
big like theme for me, I guess, just with my sociology studies.
Yeah.
And um what else? Oh, I'm a cis woman, um, but I would use she, they pronouns because I don't believe in upholding the gender binary.
Exactly.
And what else?
Yeah, I mean that's, you know, pretty much it.
I've been a girls' bathroom user my whole life.
Girls bathroom user since 2001.
Yeah.
I mean, probably you weren't in the girls' bathroom for like the first year of your life or so, but whatever, we'll let it
Newborn.
slide. So a little bit of background about Lila and I. I met Lila through this summer camp that I went to called Sahabas. I would get more into that, but that requires another podcast, you know.
Truly.
But
One we may do at some point.
exactly, and one we should do at some point. Stay
Yeah.
tuned. Um, but that we met. It was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in the end of June, early July. We were 14 years old, I think, both of us,
Little babies.
little babies, and we just, you know, like throughout the years, like we both went back every summer for like 5 years or so, and just you've become one of the people that like so intimately connected to you and so spiritually connected to you in so many ways, and just like
Truly.
the times we've had together, even like no though like ultimately physically we've spent like
It's like a month.
months together, like total, like I feel like we're best friends and we always will be best
We
friends, and
are,
we
we
always will be
are.
like that. We have that soul connection, you know.
And we just talk like this and it's like nothing, no time has passed. Like
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so I'm very grateful for you to, you know, be here in this virtual space today, even though we're separated by
yes.
like 3,000 miles. But like I said this at the beginning of this call, like I felt like we were in the same room. I felt like I was about to hug her, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
Anyways, enough
We
of
felt that.
enough of the sappy shit. Um,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it. So I'll start with my first question is, do you feel welcome in the girls' bathroom?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. Do you feel
Yeah.
like it's a space that, like, do you ever I won't ask you have you ever felt unsafe, but so when you feel comfortable, you don't and welcome, you don't feel like a sense of danger when you're in the girls' bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel a sense of danger. I can feel twinges of anxiety depending on who else is in there and what
Yeah.
are the vibes I'm getting, but I definitely have been made to feel like I'm this is my space, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, definitely. Great. So when you think of like social interactions and like social relationships that you've had in the bathroom, like are there certain places such as like restaurants or schools where these interactions happen more frequently?
Good question. I think the most often that I would have a social interaction with a stranger would definitely be like a bathroom of a bar or like a drinking kind of situation where everyone's kind of dressed up, everyone's like
Mm,
looking their best, and everyone's more likely to be like, "Oh, girl, you look so good," like,
mm,
when you're putting on your lipstick or something.
yeah.
School bathrooms are standoffish, I would say, for the most
Ooh,
part. Like,
interesting.
kind of a more like that's also just a general culture I've noticed about UCLA is like everyone is
Mm,
very much like for themselves and
ooh,
kind of like on their like slightly shady, like, you know, I'm not going to be a fan of anyone else. Like, I'm not going to like, I don't know. That's
mm,
just like something I've
interesting.
noticed in the bathrooms here. Um,
Interesting.
Restaurants are kind of just like, you're just in and out. Like, you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, you're just doing business.
Yeah, literally.
But the most social, the most social is definitely like when you're in a social environment in general, like a
Yeah.
bar, like, club kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're like in the bathroom with other people, or even if you've like gone in a group with someone, what kinds of things do you do and have you done in the bathroom with them? You know, like
Besides peeing and pooing, like
yes,
the other part. Yeah.
yeah, the other part. I mean that as well, you know. Feel free to
Yeah.
share anything if
Okay,
as long as
anything.
someone else was there, you know.
Right, right, right. So definitely like bathrooms can be a place to do drugs.
Mm.
Like that's kind of like a little let's go girls, like and then maybe you
Yeah.
get in the stall together. Well, okay, growing up in high school, the girls' bathroom was this spot where like vaping first took off. Like literally,
Mm.
I was there when Jules first came out,
Wow.
and literally the teachers didn't know anything about them yet. So we would, because I was friends with all these older girls, because I was in this
Mm.
class of like older kids. And
Mhm.
after that, it was like a 15-minute break, and we would all go, and it would be maybe like at times 10 girls in the big stall passing around Jules, like
That's
literally
crazy.
just like everyone rotating, like everyone just like getting like completely just like clouds everywhere. Like everyone would just like bang on the door and like want to be let in. And a lot of the time,
Yeah.
like it was someone who like didn't have one, but just like wanted it. And that was every day, like that we had
Yeah.
the class, like that would be the little ritual afterwards. I would do that all the time. And then
Mm.
after like a year, the teacher started catching on and started like
Mm.
not letting people, but it would still be a thing where you would go with your friend and you would like be in different classes and you'd like meet me in the bathroom and you would go and like
Yeah.
vape in the bathroom together.
Yeah.
So that was like the beginning of me doing drugs in the bathroom, I guess. And then, you
Yeah.
know, that's kind of like a little, it's a really fun little, it kind of feels like a little sanctuary too, where like you can talk about whatever's going on
Mm.
outside of the bathroom. Like you want to call, you'd be like, let's go to the bathroom. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe he's like not talking to me. Or, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's where
Like
you
the
kind of have your little mid session, like, it's like you like are like, okay, let's recap.
reconnecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like let's
Recapping, checking in, you know, like,
yeah, definitely like figuring out
mm.
the dynamics, saying your
Hmm.
little fears and like little like it can kind of be like a little space where you're only gonna be in there for like maybe 10 minutes. So you're just like
Hmm.
kind of like, let me just get this all out. And it's kind of
Yeah.
funny because like you'll hear that there's like a bunch of other girls in there too, and they're all like kind of in the same
Mm-hmm.
feeling, and you're like hearing pieces of other people's conversation. You're
Mm.
seeing them maybe like doing drugs too, or like fixing their makeup, or like it's a whole like kaleidoscope of
Yeah.
like,
Of
but it's all
interactions.
of
Yeah.
interactions, like doing the makeup, sometimes feeling sad and dramatic, or being like so drunk and like belligerent. You're just like seeing and taking it all in, but it's
Mm-hmm.
all in this very like, it's all in the same medium of like being
Yeah.
in the girls' bathroom.
Being in the bathroom. Do you feel like you like it's easy? Do you feel like you've chimed in on strangers' interactions or strangers have chimed in on yours a lot?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty like, I don't know. I don't go too crazy with that. I usually kind of like, usually feel like I'd rather just talk to the people that I'm with, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
very also like, if spoken to, gonna be really nice and like
Yeah.
sweet about it. But just recently, I'm thinking of this time I was at this club and we were doing K in the bathroom, so we kept going to the bathroom, and then there were these other girls in there, and I think, what even was it? We were in the stall and they were saying something, probably that's some guy like, and we were just like, don't do it, or I don't even know, you know what I mean? It's like something like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
then we like come out and like see them and they're like look so cute and like
Yeah.
in our same style, and so we're like talking to them, but then we're just like completely off our ass at the same time, like we're just having these conversations where it's just like you're both like completely missing each other, but it like doesn't matter.
Because there's still the like interaction is something about it. See, that's
Yeah.
so interesting to me because I always think of like that almost. I think of interactions I've had in the bathroom or like outside of being fucked up in the bathroom,
Hmm.
where it's just like it's the small talk, quick, like, hi, how are you doing? Blah blah blah, like whatever.
Hmm.
And it's that energy, but it doesn't seem to have the like pressure to do it as like you would
Mm.
normally. And in fact, it seems like it feels like it sounds like fun, it sounds like
Yeah.
connecting with someone, like, and there's actually, even though things are being missed, there still seems like there's something there,
Yeah,
like.
and you know what that makes me think of is actually like what the bathroom does, I think, is because it's such an intimate space, just by the fact that
Mm,
you're like pissing and shitting there, like that's a very
mm-hmm,
like intimate private thing that you do. But since you're in that like intimate private space, I actually do feel like when I do have interactions with strangers in the bathroom, you cut through all of the small talk. Like you just get right to the core of it, and you can be
yeah,
this really vulnerable, like primal, like self there, because that's
yeah,
already like what the space is designed for, is to be
mm-hmm,
primal.
exactly.
And so you're like already in that. And so, like, yeah, in these kind of situations, like, or honestly, whenever I talk to someone in the bathroom, I don't think I ever say hi. Like, it's not like,
Mm,
hey,
yeah,
like,
you
what's
just get
up?
right to it.
It's literally right to it. And it's right to, like, if I talk to someone, it's complimenting them usually,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, or it would be just some random thing that I couldn't really expect, but it would just be like, it's the vibe to like chime in and like be a
Yeah,
part of it.
exactly, exactly, yeah, like giving advice but like about someone who you don't know, but they still are
Yeah.
grateful to hear it, like.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, yeah. So
Exactly.
you mentioned one time. Do you have any more specific memories that stick with you that occurred in the bathroom with other people, either like strangers or friends?
Let me think.
Mhm. If you can't think of anything now, we can always come back to it later.
Yeah, that'll be like, I do have like a pretty good, what was it going on with this? I'm really trying to remember.
Hmm.
I think there's often like we're looking for our own, like we're looking for a reflection. That's what I'm seeing everything in the world. Like I'm so much more likely to talk to someone where I see myself in them, and I see
Yeah.
whether that's through their style, or I'm almost thinking that it was something where we had like the same nails or something like that, where it was like, oh
Mm.
my God. And then you just
Yeah.
feel like this connection, and you
Yeah.
feel like we've never met each other before, but we are connected, and in some
Yeah.
strange way.
Mm.
And you can see that all around you, but like when you're in the
Hmm.
bathroom, it's like this little, like, what are the odds of this, like
Yeah.
kind of
Exactly.
feeling
Like
where
you
it just
both went in
feels,
there to like piss and shit at the same time,
yeah.
and then it's like,
And you
look at
ended up,
us,
yeah,
right?
look at us. Yeah.
Because everybody pisses and shits, in some way, shape, or form. Everybody has to. So then maybe
Totally.
the commonalities come out through that, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You find a little kindred spirit.
Hmm. Yeah. So my next question is, how do you expect other people to treat you in the girls' bathroom?
Um, I kind of generally speaking here, like outside of the social room that it is in like a club or bar setting, generally I expect to just kind of be like ants, just kind of like going by each other,
Yeah.
not much interaction, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like in my zone, just
Mm-hmm.
waiting aimlessly, kind of just like
Like
no one's really
automatic
talking.
almost.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like no
Yeah.
one's really talking.
Nobody's
Everyone's
talking
just
to
kind
each
of
other.
like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
just like filing into our little stalls and just like that's
Yeah.
that. Um,
Has anyone
and
ever asked you
then
for like anything? Like, do you have like I don't know,
and
like
honestly, like do you have a tampon or pad?
yeah.
Honestly, not really. Like,
Mm.
I feel like I would. I don't even know. That's such a good question because that's definitely like something that you would like see in like as a little wholesome moment. But I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever asked anyone or had someone ask me, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because
In
because
all my time.
I know that's like not like a thing that doesn't happen, but it
Yeah.
also like I feel like in my head or even like in like media depictions of the girls' bathroom, like
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
there's something there of like there's a trope of it, like it's a
Yes,
common.
totally. There's a
It,
trope
it
of it.
seems like it would be like a universal experience, but like to
Yeah,
hear that you haven't had it
totally.
is so interesting.
Yeah, I've never had that. And it's funny because, like, if someone did ask me, or honestly, maybe I have. Actually, I think maybe and then I didn't have anything. And I'm like,
Oh.
sorry.
And that's why you didn't want to
That's
remember it.
I repressed that memory.
Literally.
Because I felt bad, because it's like
Yeah.
that's your sisterhood that you've seen in the
Yeah.
media. It's like this is like this is what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get my period anymore because I'm on this kind of birth control.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally just don't get it. So I don't have anything ever. I'm
Yeah.
like, so
You're like,
sorry, girl.
sorry. You're like empty both of your pockets. Like, like, oh my
Literally.
god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so interesting though. The
Yes.
trope, like, I part of this project too was born out of like, obviously I see it in my own life, but like in the media, it's always like girls are in the bathroom together, especially depicted in like the high school setting. But
Yeah.
it even goes beyond the high school setting of like older women in the bathroom, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, this embarrassing thing is happening to me, and like I'm talking to all these people. Uh-oh, not your free meeting will
Bruh.
end in 10 minutes on Zoom.
No. Also, wait, I need to send you this thing I just liked on Twitter because it directly
Yeah.
relates to this. But it's kind of, I don't know if I should quote it because I don't have it memorized like in the best way.
You can paraphrase it if you want, if you
Oh my
remember.
God, I'm gonna pull it up right now because I
Okay.
just liked it like yesterday.
Okay.
Should I say it out loud or should I just send it to you?
You can send it to me and I'll read it. How about that?
Okay, perfect. Oh my God, here it is. It's one of these things. Is
Okay.
it
This
reversed for you?
No, I can read it. It's the right way. Okay. It says, "Don't be in a public bathroom next to me trying to open up that pad all slow. Dot dot dot. Girl, I know you ain't eating no damn chips. Dot dot dot. Slap them pad and them panties and get out so I can fart." Well, thank you for sharing that because I'm gonna use that. This is a primary source. That's a primary source. That's a primary source right there. Like, come on. Oh my god.
Yes.
So what would you do if someone you perceived as a man walked into the bathroom? How do you think others would react?
Question. I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like literally going about my business as I
Yeah.
would, you know what I mean? Like I'm very much like a mind your own business kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
um, I usually have my AirPods in. I'm not trying to talk. I'm literally not about to start a fuss about anything. But you know, I could imagine that that could become like a situation that would be hard to like I'm thinking of it as like, you know, it would be so comfortable and I don't think anyone would have any kind of like reaction if a
Hmm.
stall was open and someone who looked like a man came in and went in the stall and then
Yeah.
left. But I'm imagining a situation where if people were waiting in a line for the stalls, which sometimes will happen, like that's pretty common, honestly. Like
Yeah.
to go to the bathroom and there's like 3 people waiting already, and you're
Yeah.
just like and so I could imagine how it could be hard to like if someone like that came in and just started like standing in the line, and then if other people started kind of like looking or being confused or like I don't know what I would do in that situation, that would be
Yeah.
kind of like I've never been in that. But
Yeah. That's
obviously,
an interesting thing to think about though. Because
yeah,
like I wonder if there would be like I wonder how power would come out in that space. Because
yeah,
obviously men are empowered to, move throughout any spaces that they're in, but a girl's bathroom, it has this notion of like this is by the state mandates this is only for people who are women. So like maybe there could be a collective power and like, hey, what the fuck are you doing in the girl's bathroom? Why are you taking up the
right,
stall when we all need to go to
yeah,
the bathroom? Like get out and go to your bathroom,
yeah,
like I can see that happening as well.
right,
But that's such an interesting
yeah.
that's
It's
such an
really
interesting thing to think about.
that's what I just thought about. Yeah, and like I would imagine that like you know if there was a line, that person might just turn around and be like, I'm out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
just because, like, that could be a potentially, there's just no way to know, like, if some old transphobic lady is about to, like,
Yeah,
start a ruckus or something. And that could
yeah,
just be so potentially scary. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Do you feel like if you were out at like the bar or the club with your friends and someone who you perceived as a man or was a man walked into the bathroom, do you think what instances do you think you would have an interaction with them, if any?
I would have an interaction with them. Okay, first of all, if that happened, I think there would be like a pretty clear way to tell if they were trying to be creepy or if they were just trying to like use the bathroom that they
Yeah.
feel like connected with.
Or they were
Um,
drunk and they walked into the wrong
or
bathroom.
they were drunk and were confused. Yeah, I feel like it
Yeah,
would be pretty like in the first couple moments of that, it would be
yeah,
clear.
right,
And
definitely.
so if they were kind of approaching it shyly and kind of like, you know, not trying to be noticed, I would just
Yeah,
literally not say anything or do
yeah,
anything. If they were like kind of walked in and then like laughed and were like, oh, what the fuck? I would be like, haha, like I would just laugh with them and be like,
yeah.
silly goose. Like,
Like,
I
you're
don't
so
know. Like,
silly.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then if they were like just some man trying to like prowl around or something,
yeah,
I might just be like, what the fuck are you doing? But of course, it's like in my mind, it's seeming like it would be clear, but in a real situation, it would probably not be
yeah.
clear,
It might be a little bit more ambiguous, especially if you're like, things are, if the
Yeah,
substances have been flowing,
they
like
hitting, yeah, like there would be no way to
exactly.
know.
So
Yeah, but
so
like,
interesting.
I know, truly, I'm just not really the kind of person to like create conflict if that's not necessary. So like, I feel
Yeah,
like in most of these situations, I would not really be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that would never really be me.
Do you think other people would?
Um, it's entirely possible. Like people
Yeah.
are crazy.
People are
Like,
crazy and
and,
vocal and like to
yeah,
confront people.
and going back to what you said about how it's one of the few places in the world that is like female dominant and like
Yeah,
women have the power, one might feel like they want to exercise that power,
yeah,
for a
definitely.
rare time and feel like, this is one of the only places that I'm actually like the one in charge.
And you're
Um,
comfortable and it feels safe in there.
comfortable, yeah, and you're like
Yeah,
you have your like women around you that
yeah.
you might actually feel like reacting in a
hmm
way that would be purely like purely kind of just trying to combat the
hmm
patriarchal forces that you feel on you at all other times. But in doing that, it could be very harmful to someone who is trying to like feel aligned with their gender identity and
Right,
like,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah, and I wonder even what like extent for like some people it might even be like they know that that person is trying to just feel comfortable or and then they're going to try and put them down or make them
mm,
feel uncomfortable so they don't do it in the future, like
mm-hmm.
I wonder how
I think that would be coming from the same place. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
the part of you that would want to like do that, whether you perceive them as a man or whether you perceive them as like a trans woman, or you know, it would all be stemming from the same place of like we've been squashed before. And you know, I want to kind of like hold on to like the power that I do feel like I have. I want to exercise that
and like squash back almost, which is an interesting thing because I don't think that's necessarily helpful, you know? Like, and
completely.
I think that's what we see with like the bathroom bills throughout the country of like trying to ban people who aren't assigned female at birth from the like public bathroom spaces, is like this sense of like it's interesting how the state dominant power ingrains itself into people's own notions of their self-determination and their like, and how they enact power too, you know?
Wow.
Like, because I think what we see with empowerment, with feminist empowerment, or what we call feminist empowerment, is this sense of like a necessary sense in many ways of like, we need to preserve ourselves, we need to resist these things, we need to like have spaces that are our own for women by women. But at the same time, since so many of these people are so into the exclusion and so into their goals, the binary getting they don't really want liberation from these binaries, they want inclusion into them. You know, they want to be able to access these power spheres, you know?
Like, they want to step into the man's role of saying, no, you can't. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's take a bathroom break.
Hey!
There we go.
We're back.
Okay, slay. Okay, so my next question is, do you feel other aspects of your identity affect your experience in the girls' bathroom? If so, which ones and how so?
Let me think about that.
Like, such as like your race or your physical ability or like your class or like, you know, parts of your identity, like sexuality, you know, like.
Right. Yeah. For the most part, I feel pretty like, I don't know, this is coming from a place of privilege for sure, but I feel like I move through the world feeling pretty identity-less. Like, even when you asked me on the form what identities I feel the most connected to, you know, I was like, damn, I don't really, you know, I said artist and like
I see
spiritual person.
I see your response now too. Yeah, that's so interesting.
So I feel like I don't even really feel like sometimes when I'm walking around, I don't even know if people can see me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of just feel like I'm a Pisces rising. Like, I just feel like I'm literally just like not really like feeling super grounded in the material in general. But I guess, you know, I am attracted to women, and I feel like I definitely do see cute girls in the bathroom, but it doesn't feel like the space where I would act like in that way. It doesn't feel like the bathroom is the place where we're all uniting for our like most kind of, like I said, our most primal kind of base level survival. And you know, I just feel kind of like it's a liminal space, and it's like I just kind of feel like a little shadowy like ghost.
That's what you were saying earlier with like the going in and out, like in most other places besides like in the bars and clubs, like like it's almost like you're not supposed to have an identity when you go in there besides like the one that you're putting on when you walk through the door, you know?
It's so like egoless kind of, because you're really just doing this like thing that we just have to like get rid of our waste, like you know what I mean? Exactly. Like we just have to do this. Also, and that's what it feels like for the most part.
Yeah, it's like besides the presence of urinals, like all bathrooms look the same. When you're in a stall, you could be anywhere, you know?
Literally.
Like,
you could be anywhere. The only thing that is like so it's like you go and you do your business and then you come out and you're usually faced with this mirror, and that's kind of
Mm,
this moment of like reckoning, you know, and
yeah.
like that is a really big part of it for me. Mirrors are a really big like symbol for me
Mhm.
throughout my life.
Mm,
And you know that, and for a long time I've been very like basing my true inner self
mm,
in my reflection in the mirror and how
mm,
like good I think I look, which I think
yeah.
is very common for women because we're reduced to simply our physical experience or physical
Mhm.
appearance, and our
Yeah.
inner experience is like completely like neglected. And
Yeah.
um it's like if you look good then you are good, and that's as deep
Yeah.
as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
um
exactly. Mm,
but so I'm always confronted with the mirror when I go to the bathroom, and
mhm.
that is really like, you know, a space where you are checking in with your identity,
Yeah.
and you are
Yeah.
and I'm sure that experience is so different for literally every single person, what it
Yeah,
feels like to be
definitely.
faced with that, you know.
Right.
And you know, a lot of the times I'm kind of like feeling myself, like fixing my hair,
Yeah.
like very
Mhm.
much like empowered to just do whatever I feel like I want to do, even if people are around me. Like I don't
Yeah.
really get self-conscious too much about that.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, but it is this kind of you're met with yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of see that as a ritual almost, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I go to the bathroom not to go to the bathroom, but just to have the mirror experience at the bathroom.
Mm,
And I feel like I
yeah.
kind of need that throughout the day a little bit.
Definitely. I think it's so interesting. And it's also like so weird when bathrooms don't have a mirror too.
So weird, bro.
Like,
Like you're like, what?
right. There's this one bathroom on campus that I go to, and it's an all gender bathroom. It's a single person all gender bathroom, and it doesn't have a
Mhm.
mirror. And it's so like, one, I'm like, that's transphobic. Two,
No, what the fuck?
I'm like, I can't check myself in here. Like, I cannot look in the mirror, and I can't like get a feel, especially when I'm going to class. You know, like I
Yeah,
like to like have that. Maybe take a mirror selfie if I look good. Like,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
but when that's missing in the bathroom, it becomes even more of this
It
like,
strips you of your humanity practically, and
yeah,
especially the
basically,
fact that you don't have that in the all gender bathroom is actually
yeah,
like weird, because the only
right,
place that otherwise that you don't have that is like a super cheap gas station bathroom where
exactly,
they're like cutting all expenses.
exactly,
um but you know, in the world we search for representations, like we yearn to see our reflection in others, whether that's in the
mm,
media or in movies. We have this deep, it's this deep human desire to find others who are like us, you know.
yeah,
And you know, I think looking in the mirror is a version of that, you know, because it's like you're like me, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
you are me, like how am I, you know, how am I doing, like how am I, it's just, it's so easy to get lost in this world with so much stimuli to
yeah,
forget who you are, you know.
mm-hmm,
And I think it's really important that we can have that moment. It's a sacred moment if you allow it to be, you know, to like
yeah,
remember who you are and like
definitely,
have that, you know, I mean, to really know who you are is not to
mm-hmm.
look in the mirror, it's to close your eyes, you know. That's like the truest, but I think the mirror does help, and um it's really important.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share or circle back to, or I guess reflect back to, going with what we were
Mhm.
just talking about? You
Yeah,
know?
reflect. Good question. I guess I would just like to talk about how it's kind of just like it's so interesting that you're doing this project, because it's this really interesting space where on one sense anything goes. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could be ass out twerking on your bestie, like literally like someone
Literally.
could be doing drugs in the open.
Yeah.
Someone you're like so likely to see shit or blood or like whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're
Something
like really,
gross.
yeah, like, and something so like raw
Mm-hmm.
and like but then at the same time there's all of these unwritten rules and
Mm-hmm.
kind of little social scripts about
Yeah.
how we are meant to act, and you're not meant to like stare someone in the eyes, like it's like, you know what I mean, like there's so many things that like, just like everywhere in the world. But
Yeah.
it is like, it's this kind of like, I don't know, it's this like duality, I guess, where it's
Yeah.
like it's so like pure and like raw and like real and like, it could be outlandish, but in the
Mm-hmm.
same time,
Mm.
even like,
It's like
I'm sure
regulated.
you're still trying to not have your pad be heard, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even though
Yeah,
we're in this
exactly.
space, you're still not trying
Yeah.
to be farting like in front of people.
Right, exactly.
Like it's like that's what we're here to do, and
Hmm.
we all know that everyone farts, but like tell me why I still don't want to do it even when I'm anonymous in the stall. Like
Right,
it's
exactly.
very
The
interesting.
anonymity doesn't get rid of anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
really.
crazy. Uh, Jeez. Well, that's so interesting. That is a part of this project too, is like the dualities of the bathroom as like this place that is so like intimate and like gross and disgusting, and there's embarrassment and shame, but you kind of just have to put it aside. And then at the same
Hmm.
time, there's this part of it that's so controlled and like
Gate kept,
strict,
like.
gate kept. Yeah,
Hmm.
like there's this very interesting duality going on, because ultimately what I feel like the conception of the girls bathroom in the social sense is this like safe haven. That's always been my
Mm.
conception of it, as someone who's not included in that space,
Right,
is
like you
like
would see all your friends be like, okay, we're all gonna go to this.
exactly. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't come, like, or I could
Oh
come but I don't want to
yeah.
risk it, like.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also interesting to hear too that like obviously I knew I was projecting some sort of thing onto that, but to hear at the same time that it's not all this like, it's not this like the Garden of Eden,
You
it's not
literally,
like this
yeah.
meadow where we're all strutting around and like
And
people
like
are holding
hugging each
hands and
other and like
hugging and
giving
like
each other makeup.
and like getting married, like
Yeah.
like basically like, yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
know, that's it's this has
Just
been
to hear
such a
from me that I'm just like, me and how social I am and how
yeah.
like nice and like free I am, I guess. But then
Yeah,
like even I in the bathroom, I'm like, I'm literally just gonna mind my own. Like
right. Because like what else are you gonna do in there? Like,
yeah, yeah. Make my new best friend like doubtful. Like
probably very doubtful. But I bet now you're gonna meet someone in the bathroom and you're gonna be besties with them.
really, I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll tell the
Uh,
tale.
and you'll come back and we'll have another
A
discussion about
recap.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Truly.
Perfect. Um, so thank you so much for having this conversation today. This has been such like an amazing discussion. Not only has it been great catching up with you, but it's also been great and actually fabulous even hearing your perspective on the girls' bathroom. And like I really like the approach you brought to it, the mirrors and our reflection conversation. Like I'm
Mm.
so excited to explore that more. But yeah, thank you so much. If there's anything you'd like to plug, like, if you're doing anything, or like you just want to give me your Instagram for people to follow, like
Oh
please go
my
ahead.
god, that's so funny. I don't have anything.
Okay.
I'm not even a person.
Okay, slay.
But truly just my smiling
Just
face.
a smile. I'll post, although this is a podcast, I will make the cover for this episode. I will include Lila's smiling face because
Oh.
everybody needs to see it. All
Yes.
right, Slay. Well, thank you
Bye.
so much. For now, I've been David McKeever,
I'm Lila Isaacs.
and this is the Girls Room. Bye, everybody.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Oh my God. Now, wasn't that incredible? Like, wasn't that just like aren't we just so effervescent and beautiful and smart and spiritual and all this shit? Aren't we just, our energies are very just like pure and aligned, you know? No, I'm being facetious, pussyfish, is what I like to call it. Sometimes I say things and I don't really know what I'm saying. So, anyways, um, yeah, that was an amazing conversation with Lila. So grateful for her. So grateful that y'all have been able to have a chance to like see where these conversations went, Anyways, thank you so much for listening to another fabulous episode of Do You Want to Come With? I hope you enjoyed this little bonus episode, a little dessert on top of the main course of season 1. And I will be in your ears again very soon. Stay on the lookout for another bonus episode of an original interview. And I love you all so much. Mwah. Bye!